Hello everyone and welcome back to Europa Universalis 4, easy for me to say. We are at war with Florence and Naples, and the main main thing that we're interested in here is breaking the alliance between Naples and Austria, which has now been done. They are at war with each other. Of course, still allied to Florence, but that's our main goal. And because of that, we can basically white peace Naples whenever we want. And then after that truce is up, we take a bunch of land that we have claims on, and there we go. That's sort of the whole intention of this war. If we get Arezzo in the meantime, that's good, but there is still a coalition, and that coalition is decently strong. I was expecting part of it to break off, given that they're getting to relatively low aggressive expansion, and Naples is no longer valid for it, as they have, we have some diplo points we can spend on development. Very nice. Let's go for, okay, can't go for Kosovo. Let's go for Ancona. That should be alright. I'd like to get it up a little higher. Okay, that's fine. There we go. Ordinarily you want to go to even numbers like 10, 20, 30, give you more building slots, but we'll get there later. It's not the end of the world right now. So this war should be pretty quick, and as long as we don't take too much, hopefully we won't extend the coalition. Hopefully a couple of nations will drop out. So let's take a look here. Okay. This does keep most nations in. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. Of course, Naples won't be able to because they have a truce. By the time the truce is up, they won't be able to join. So I think we do take Arezzo here, and sort of just laugh our way to the bank with that little bit of a pickup. 14 dev, which is very nice, and more importantly, just extending our toehold in Italy. Long-term goals, we will be taking Constantinople, and by will, I mean, yes, it will be done. Before this campaign is over, we will take the Balkans, we will make them Eastern Orthodox again, and free of the Ottoman yoke. Maybe we'll even mend the schism. We'll take Rome, we'll convert Rome, well, we already have Rome, we'll convert it to Eastern Orthodox, and, you know, we'll maybe even make our way over to Moscow. It could be a lot of fun. There's definitely a lot of options for a good Serbia game to get going. I mean, once you get up through Hungary, and you get over through to Wallachia, Moldova, or Moldavia rather, Moldova's north, you can pretty much just pick a direction and go. I've even gone as far as colonizing. Now, the world is looking a little crazy. Scotland has gone a bit bonkers. Sweden is free and is beating up Denmark. Muscovy is having a relatively interesting time, but they've gotten most of what they need for Russia anyway. They do have Neva. They do have pretty much all of the Livonian order is gone. Riga stands alone now. But we are going to have a couple of decently tough later game opponents, and that's even assuming that we get into the late game decently well, which I think we will. Jeez, how many losses am I taking on this siege? Oh, come on, show me. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. How many men are there? Only 4,000. That's okay. I hate it when the AI just loads up men onto your own sieges when they're not necessary. We have 2 cannons here. This siege is going as quickly as it possibly can during this time, which of course in the early game sieges are decently slow. We are pretty ahead of time on tech. We could wait and try and go for early tech 8, but I think I'd rather get this so that we get stability cost -10, which is pretty nice. And we do need to start paying off loans as well, so we're actually going to take another one here, and we're going to do a bit of consolidation. So let's get rid of our estate loans at 44 ducats. Those are very, very small. And then we'll retake estate loans, indebted vergers right here. Come on. Indebted vergers, there we go. Now we have 510. They're bigger. Our inflation is going through the roof, but that is okay. As soon as we get our next economic idea, that'll drop to a reasonable increase instead of our current 0.13 per year. And we could also look at getting, once we have them available anyway, some inflation reduction advisors. Early game buildings I don't think are super important all the time unless you have things like plus 0.4, plus 0.3. We will definitely build both of those, give ourselves a pretty direct, yeah, my economy is better now, sort of play. And ooh, oh, we could take Ragusa. I really want to take Ragusa. What happens if we take Ragusa? We could take Ragusa. It's not smart. It's not smart. It's so not smart. Without Ragusa, if we look at the aggressive expansion from Naples, it goes to 52, so we win there without having to really risk them going into another coalition. But Ragusa has been guaranteed for, oh, come on, show me the nation. There we are. Still guaranteed by the Ottomans. our only way to take this is in this war. So I'm almost curious, do we leave Arezzo? Do we take Ragusa? Naples goes to 65 years of negative 1.8, won't get us there. But we're 2.6. Okay, that's the plan. We take Ragusa, we leave Florence alone, and then our next war we take Naples, and that's absolutely fine with me. So let's go ahead and white peace out Naples. We could take a bunch of their money, but I don't want a bunch of their money. All I wanted was what I already got with them losing their alliance to Austria. Let's go ahead and do that. And then in 6 days, when we have our diplomat back, let's take Ragusa. There we go. Or should I say Dubrovnik, which has a castle. It's pretty nice. We have castles in Zera, Dubrovnik, and Smederevo, which gives us some amount of protection. I don't like how our capital isn't protected by that fort. That is definitely a vulnerability, but it's a vulnerability that for right now we do have to live with. So let's take Dubrovnik. Would have been better if I had a claim on them, but hey, that's better borders, right? Serbia has all of that coastline back and to itself now, and our Neapolitan truce will be up in 89, which we'll probably get to that today, I would imagine, or at least close to it, if not all the way through the war. Let's just quickly take a look. Ooh, a call to arms. The name Yelena I is known far beyond the borders of our princedom. Not only is she our exalted voivodnica, she is also famous for her military prowess. Up until now, she has been contributing from the safety of the war room. However, there are voices who call for the presence on the battlefield. Do we make our ruler a general? The answer is going to be no. We have a 565 ruler. I want her to live as long as possible, live long and prosper. And generals, sometimes it used to be hard-coded that generals would die faster because they would roll the possibility of death twice if they were rulers and generals. But I think that's gone. I just don't really want to risk it because, frankly, Paradox has some buggy code sometimes. Yeah. The nice thing is, it looks like most nations weren't affected by the pickup of Dubrovnik, so we should still have Aragon dropping out relatively soon. Okay, Papal State is in one now. That's not exactly what I'd wanted. But we'll lose much of the far-reaching aggressive expansion decently soon. And then, so long as we can pick off Italian nations one by one, which we definitely can do, we'll go after Naples next, we'll take Florence after that. By that time, we should have the coalition gone at least enough to start looking other places. In particular, we need to make our way north, so we really need Venice to fall out of the coalition or be attackable through it, which it might be. We can attack through this coalition as soon as Aragon isn't in it. Even with Aragon, we could attack through it with Austria, but it would be a bloody, bloody war, at least until... So what I was hoping for was the Castilian wedding, because... Oh, wait. Aragon is a republic. When the hell did that happen? That's not supposed to happen. Does that prevent the Iberian wedding? It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, no Iberian wedding. I was hoping that they would become a junior partner of Castile, because in that case, there's nothing that they can do to, well, to be in that coalition. They don't have their own independent politics, but as long as they do, then it is an option for them. Now what we're going to do, we're going to mothball all forts again, which isn't ordinarily great. I could also decrease the maintenance on our army, but I'd like to see if we could have drilling and be relatively okay in terms of money. We would be fine if not for our interest, as well as the 10%, that's nice, the 10% inflation. Yeah, not great. I really want an inflation reduction advisor. It's the thing though, right now we are very much helped by the additional missionary strength. It's not enough to convert Rome, it won't be for some time, but the larger we grow and the more we convert to Eastern Orthodox, the less that will matter, because our religious unity as a fraction of our stated provinces will, well, be much larger. So that's sort of the goal. Let's go ahead and look at, okay, so no additional alliances that are possible that I care about by the looks of it, only Mecklenburg, which I don't care about Mecklenburg. Let's go ahead and improve relation with our allies, should be fine, and let's go to 4 and wait for that next war. Now you could probably be playing a tighter game than I am, but I want to conquer Italy and I want to do it relatively quickly. Yeah, we're not gonna break our coalition here anytime soon. Okay, so if we defeat the coalition militarily, that would work. It's just that's the hard way of doing it. Let's see, is there anything else I want? We could do this. Missionary strength +1, tolerance to true faith +1. We'd get more rebels in Rome itself, but everything else would become more stable, and we'd convert things faster. Or we could grant another monopoly or two. It does decrease our income month to month. You get 80% of your 10-year return on that particular good, so that could be worthwhile. I think we're going to go for the cheaper one, which is wine, and you know what, heck with it. I want high loyalty, I want some quick cash. We should be alright without that. And we should be able to seize land again pretty quickly. Now, I'm a big fan of getting as much crown land as you can very quickly, which means not selling titles very much at all. I used to not be, but since the changes in the last patch... Ooh, by Aragon, really? Interesting. That sucks. Okay, not good. Since the changes in the last patch where you get additional government reform modifiers, it's really, really good to have more than 50% crown land. It's one of the best things in the game, I think, right now, because you rush your way down the government reform panel and get very powerful modifiers a lot quicker. And then from there, any additional government reform that you have, you can expand your administration, which extends your governing cap, which means you just play a wider game, a more successful game, and yeah, there we go. There's nothing that's not to like right there. So, what is this? What is this war? Aragonese conquest of Calabria. So Calabria should be... oh, already owned by the Spanish. Nice. So they actually can't enforce their war goal. They both have claims. Oh. Interesting. That looks like it was a threatened war. Instead of... it's a boneheaded AI decision. You just declare war for that and take it. It takes so much more. This does mean that we're going to have to fight Castile. And I would guess that Aragon's going to win the war, probably. Which could mean that we have to fight Aragon for parts of Florence as well. It's not exactly what I was hoping for. It's got aggressive expansion impact, -10. And now we have -20 from other effects, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, we have to pay that Diplo power. And take a look in... so 89, that's where our truce is up. That's about 3 years, should be fine. Ottomans have not yet attacked, and let's go ahead and get yearly inflation reduction. Pay that loan, there we go. Looking a lot better now, I'd say. And we could go for pike and shot, infantry fire. I think, frankly, we go for discipline +5. And completing quality ideas, so we're going to go for naval attrition, -25 right there. There we are. Yeah, Naples is going to lose this war. That could be really bad for us, depending on what Aragon takes, because we'd have to fight Aragon for it, instead of Naples. It's one of the things about this game, you weaken somebody too much, and the AI will eventually take advantage of it. Not all the time, but certainly more often than is pleasant. We're saving this money, by the way, just so we can repay a couple of these loans. There's very little incentive to pay them off early, fortunately. I guess, I don't know if that's counter to real life or not, but let's go ahead and get the innovativeness here. Go. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Wait, does that suck? Or am I being a little dramatic? What this means is we just annex all of what remains of Naples in our next war. So we'll take this, and we'll gear up for a war against Aragon that they shouldn't really be able to handle, I would imagine. I don't think that'll be too much of an issue. It's gonna take time. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can actually take Calabria in that same war as well, because Spain, well, Castile will come in on behalf of Aragon. They are allied. The issue is now we really do need Aragon to fall out of this coalition. It's a 100%. I don't want to fight the entire coalition just for the southern part of that peninsula. In case you're curious, AI often does this. You can't join until you hit 50, but they'll stay in until it's down to like flipping 4 or 5 or 6. It can often get very annoying. Very. So, okay, that's not bad, it's not great. Let's take a look at our reforms. I do like expand temple rights, but not enough right now, I think. So we need the religious unity. Admin tech cost -10 is very good. Patriarch's influence doesn't really matter too much. I mean, it's high, but could be worse. We might actually want the Patriarch authority. Loyalty to equilibrium plus 15. Just a little worried about Patriarch's influence there, because now, if we go up to 89, we could reasonably risk a disaster if we get an event that we have to give them. Okay, let's take this. Let's decrease their authority, play it a little bit safer with disasters, and we're still getting pretty nice passive gain from clerical ministers, which is more than we'd even get from that reform, and is less risky besides. So I think that's the better answer. Papal states out. Good. They're probably not going to exist for much longer. Oh, Bohemia's the emperor. Okay. That is interesting. That is very interesting. Austria will be a lot weaker for it. They lose a lot of bonuses. Yep, army size decreasing. It's actually not great for us. We want them to be our ally. But if they integrate Hungary, which, let's see if they are. It doesn't look like they are. They might not be able to yet. Okay, they can't inherit until 1505, let alone integrate. We'll keep our promises, and we have until April of next year before we can do inflation of military power. I think that's worthwhile. Oh man, so many things. This game has so many things. Including, we never actually looked at our other general. Oh yeah, 2533. We are good. Oh! No. No. Austria declares war on Bohemia. Restoration of Union. I don't think we can fight Austria in this. Who else is allied with? Yeah, no. We declined that call to arms. We just lost Bohemia. We'll pick them back up if Austria takes the unification, but that does suck. It was our next biggest ally. We might well have to fight off a coalition now, because we have lost Florence. And, of course, Aragon took Pisa. Is there a coalition against you guys now? There should be. They could. Milan could. Could we? No. That's unfortunate. I wish that we could. If we joined it, if we could coalition them, that would have at least been pretty funny. If nothing else, let's go ahead and do that. We'll repay... Oh, hey! We can restore the Roman Empire, right. Forgot about this. That might be our long-term goal. Okay, 5. That's fun. Okay, 9.6, going up by 0.02 a year. If we have an advisor, we fix that. We should be okay here for this war. Only allied now with Ferrara. And 5.5 thousand men. Let's go ahead and stop drilling. Let's bring our forts back up. And I'd like that. I like this. I like both of these. But we're not going to do the admin one just because we will need the additional governing capacity, and we will also need to be able to core the provinces that we get. So let's go ahead and declare this war. Let's bring in Milan just so that they can deal with Ferrara. Conquest of Abruzzi. That's perfectly fine. Let's we need 9 days. Hope they don't join the coalition. They shouldn't be able to. There it is. And we'll take Abruzzi. This is just, we're gonna march province by province in, and there's nothing they can do about it. Really just nothing at all that they can do about it, which is quite nice. Quite nice indeed. Okay. Let's go ahead and start fabricating on Aragon. Take a little bit of time to pan out, but I think it's good. Like that price right now. And it might... Ah, hi. Improved relations plus 20%. Very good. Definitely worthwhile. I wish we had a navy that could fight these guys now. We're losing money from the blockade, and we're also just taking a lot of devastation, which they did make worse in the recent patch. They doubled the negatives for devastation, which I think is a little steep, but I mean, I guess I understand. Let's go ahead and grab these two. Bohemia died again. Goodness gracious, are they... They're gonna be emperor until they're no longer independent. It's pretty funny. I don't think that's exactly how you're supposed to vote an emperor, guys. there. Let's go ahead and take these guys out, and then we'll split up, start the siege, and take Bari. Oh, no. I want the general on here, because of his 3 siege pips. Let's take Bari. This will be over shortly. Good. Nice, fast wars with decisive territory gains are what you always want to get in this game. Pretty much no better way of doing it, in my opinion. Long drawn-out wars, even if they get you a lot, are sometimes... Ooh, lost the icon. Do want that icon back. St. Nicholas. There it is. Reason being, we need to minimize our coalition through improved relations and decreased aggressive expansion. That goal has not changed. So, let's come back over. Ah, look at that. Very fast siege of Salento. 76% will not be enough because we're threatening their freedom. So in order to completely annex, generally you need to have pretty close to 100% war score. Gets a little bit annoying. Ooh, let's claim on Ravenna. Come on, come on. To there. Yeah, see, they won't accept. It's only 59 peace offer value, but they won't accept because it will result in their annexation. So we need about 6 more reasons to overcome their negatives. Dalmatian separatists. That's not great. Of course, we have 2. We might be a little over-forted here. I worry about the Ottomans. Okay. So our prestige being negative for this isn't great. It will increase the amount of aggressive expansion that we get with people, which was kind of, you know, the point was to not do that, and Aragon will go back up to being in a valid coalition. Florence will be in a valid coalition. That's okay, I want it, and we'll coalition bust if we have to. That's fine. We are also over governing cap, but only by 3. Should be absolutely fine, as long as we get our next technology relatively soon. Should be okay. Okay, this is fine, this is fine. Yeah, see, nice, good, quick, clean war. And now we can even go over and handle our rebels in Split and Rovnik. Of course, they're not in the one that I'm standing on. Ooh. Yeah, we'll take a stability. I know people tend to overvalue stability, but I think it is just, particularly in the early game, I think it is really worthwhile. Not to the exclusion of all else, clearly, but I definitely think it can be worthwhile. So we're going to drop our army maintenance, we're going to drop our fort maintenance, we're going to start getting a little bit of money back, and who cares about the independence of Geneva? Certainly not me. We have claims on Naples. So now we can make claims on everything we're adjacent to, or connect to with the sea zone, which for us is everything here for Aragon in the southern bit of Naples, including Naples itself. Yeah, Salern, Lucania, Cosenza, all of this. It would also be nice if we could start taking into Sicily, but we might need more ships for that, so I don't know if we can really do that quite yet. It's a horrible advisor, but we'll do what we can with it. I really wish we had a reduced inflation advisor. We'd be in a pretty good spot there if we did have it. It's okay. Cavalry cost, cavalry combat ability. Yeah, we can definitely build into more cavalry than I otherwise would. We could go up to, say, 4 or 6. I don't really want to do more than that. And Ottoman conquest of Genoa. Oh, this is nice. There goes our coalition. Our coalition just fell apart, which means it's highly unlikely to reform. And is that because of the Ottomans? Yes. Great. So coalition calculations are based oftentimes on balance of power, and the Ottomans attacking in against Genoa just crushed the balance of power, so these guys don't feel confident. They probably are going to get absolutely wrecked by the Ottomans, which I really hope the Ottomans don't take Cosenza and Lucania, so we have to fight them for Italy. This will really become one of the weirdest games of EU4 that I've played in a while, but certainly no less fun for it. So that's all we've got for you guys today. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.